Okay, welcome back to Trial Watch with Demetra. I am Demetra Lit all day, or in my official capacity, I like to call myself Judge D Lit. Now, I don't know why y'all had a minute and a half of me looking at my phone. I saw it on my phone. I don't know. But happy Friday to you all and welcome. If you're new to this channel, please stick around. Hit the like right now. Hey, Winter. And consider subscribing. Happy Friday to you all. We are back for some sentencing today. We're going to start off with the Bedtime murder trial with Jermaine Bass out of Florida. He is accused of unaliving his 5-year-old daughter, Jayla, and attempted murder of his 8-year-old son, Jermaine Jr., or JJ, as they called him. Now, this was an interesting case because of the fact, the dynamics of it. We have a dad who claims to have accidentally shot both of his kids in the head. The gun discharged 5 different times. 4 shots directly into the head of his 5-year-old daughter. 1 shot into the head and grazed pretty much his son. And he claims this was all an accident, that this happened in the midst of him trying to clean the gun or take the magazine out the gun. Very far-fetched indeed. So it was a 3-4-day trial. The mother didn't testify. The only family that testified was a sister-in-law and a niece of a sister-in-law. I didn't understand that. The mother was supposed to testify. She never did. The state put on some good witnesses as far as DNA and to show forensically where the children were in the bed. That shows that, you had the aim. He had the aim towards these kids. So without further ado, we're going to, by fair usage, we're going to be able to, give this commentary. Okay. And let's get into it. Because I want to come back and do the sentencing for Ellen Gilliard, the lady who did assisted death of her husband. Let's see here.
Breaking news, the verdict in the Bedtime murder trial, Florida versus Jermaine Bass. And I want to bring in, as we're waiting, we're going to show you some live pictures. Almost 7 hours the jury's been deliberating. We understand that they have a verdict. These are live pictures. There, the defendant is Jermaine Bass. Also joining me now, former prosecutor Chrisanne Hall. Chrisanne, I have to tell you, this case, the defense attorney in closing, I thought made some very good points about what evidence was not presented, was not heard. We expected, based on what the prosecution said, to hear from his wife at the time, the mother of the 2 children. Guess what? She didn't testify. I think obviously the jury had a lot to think about, given they've been deliberating for almost 7 hours, Chrisanne.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult case for the prosecution to begin with, although...
Let me say this to my little name jury box. So when we first listened to this that first day, right? I'm very guilty of starting to assume, or believe in the fact that maybe somebody else did it. Maybe the mom did. Maybe they covered for the son. However, on that third day of testimony, we didn't watch it together. Thank you, VA. We didn't watch it together, but I did watch it. It was so much blood. I just was like, nah, I don't think I need to put that on my channel. But a blood expert was on the stand, and she was able to testify that both kids had their heads towards the end of the bed. So that ruled out any thought of maybe they was trying to cover for their son. Maybe he was playing with the gun. We talked about that at length, and I know I did. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And happy Friday to you guys.
When you have the death of children, emotion is a very big factor with the jury. But if you can't prove a motive when you have the defense offering a very plausible accident, then you're going to have a really hard time as a prosecutor to prove this. And since we don't have the mother of the children coming to testify against the defendant, that's an even bigger hurdle for the prosecution in this case.
But I think one of the things, and the state said this in closing argument, it had already stood out to me, were inconsistent statements or positions by this defendant. So initially he made a statement that it was an accidental discharge, that he was trying to take the magazine out of the gun and it discharged. We know his daughter died. The son had a gunshot wound to the head, bleeding profusely. He did survive that after a lot of medical care for that. Then defense says in the opening statement that the defendant didn't shoot the children.
Right,
and
that's what
it can't be true or isn't true based on the forensic evidence. And I think that could be troubling for any jury to hear that there's such different stories offered by the defense.
Yeah, I think that's a bad move on the case of the defense attorneys in this case to try to offer some other explanation. I really think that if it were an accident, that as a defense attorney, I would, in a matter of strategy, I would stay with that, because there you would have to prove motive. And
it's no way in the world that the defense could have stayed with that line of defense, that this was an accident. How do you accidentally fire a gun 5 separate times? They already stated that it wasn't the type of gun that you can shoot or pull the trigger once and it may dispel bullets. That wasn't plausible, right? So there's no way in the world you can go or justify that as a line of defense that this was an accidental shooting. And let's say the gun misfired or did whatever, broke down, or whatever guns do, jam up, and it shot 5 times. Why would all 5 shots be so directly targeted? 4 shots directly into the head of his 5-year-old daughter. 1 shot directly at the head of his son. It ain't that much accident in the world.
And being that your only evidence would then be circumstantial. And as a gun owner, I can tell you that the trajectory can be accidentally accurate. It's just not something that would be a good thing for the prosecution to have to deal with.
Yeah, and you know, when the defense was going through the things that in closing and saying they didn't present evidence of this, they really also included the motive piece. They said there was no evidence presented of marital discord, no evidence of why he stayed home with the children and the mother went with family to eat at Ruth Chris's. Also, no evidence of problems in the house. I understand we have audio. Let's go into court.
Okay, ma'am, Renee. All right,
here's what we're going to do, Chrisanne. We're going to talk some more as soon as they start. We're going to keep this up. We're going to keep listening. I'm going to cut you off, cut me off, and go back into court. We know he's been charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, and 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. Rising means that jury is coming in. While the jury comes in, the jury can also include lessers. That was decided. That was in the jury instructions. What do you think might happen given it's almost 7 hours of deliberation?
You know, I think that they could very well agree with the lack of motive being presented, that it's a manslaughter case based on the fact that why was the father doing this in the bedroom. Let's go in. I think the judge is addressing the court.
Thank you.
He accused of unaliving his 5-year-old daughter, attempted murder of his son. He accidentally fired the gun.
All right, the verdict form is in order. If you would publish the verdict and pull the jury, please.
Yes, ma'am. State of Florida versus Jermaine Lavonda Bass. Case number 22 CF 011717A. Trial Division 3 verdict form. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1, murder in the first degree. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree, Jayla Bass, as charged. And during the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally carry, display, use, threaten, or attempt to use any weapon or firearm? Yes. Did the defendant actually possess a firearm? Yes. Did the defendant discharge the firearm? Yes. Did the discharge cause death of the victim? Yes. 12 of the 12 of us find the killing was premeditated murder. 12 of the 12 of us find the killing was premeditated murder and felony murder.
Ooh.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2, aggravated child abuse.
Is that the memo?
The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3, aggravated.
What happened?
The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 4, attempted murder in the first degree, Jermaine J.J. Bass.
His 8-year-old son.
Jermaine J.J. Bass as charged. And during the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally carry, display, use, threaten, or attempt to use any weapon or firearm? Yes. Did the defendant actually possess a firearm? Yes. Did the defendant discharge the firearm? Yes. Did the discharge cause great bodily harm to the victim? Yes.
He's not showing no emotion.
So say we all, dated this 27th day of February, 2025, juror number 1, foreperson of the jury. Juror number 1, are these your true and correct verdicts? Yeah. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts? Yeah. Juror number 3, are these your true and correct verdicts? Juror number 4, are these your true and correct verdicts? Yeah. Juror number 5, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yeah.
Juror number 6, are these your true and correct verdicts? Yeah. Juror number 8, are these your true and correct verdicts? They are. Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts? Yeah. Juror number 10, are these your true and correct verdicts? They are. Juror number 12, are these your true and correct verdicts? They are. Juror number 14, are these your true and correct verdicts? Thank you. I can't see you.
I was 12.
You missed 11.
11, excuse me. Juror number 11, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
And juror number 12, are these your true and correct verdicts?
I can't.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you have spent a considerable amount of time and effort today deliberating on this case, and I cannot thank you enough for that, as well as your patience and with us and hard work all week.
All right, so
as you've now seen.
Let's talk about a couple of things here. Okay, excuse my phone, y'all. Let's talk about a couple of things. Again, in this trial, it was out of Florida, state of Florida versus Jermaine Bass, right? And he was charged with, and they was trying him for the actual unaliving of his 5-year-old daughter, okay? And the attempted murder of his 8-year-old son. She apparently can't count. I was like 14. But this trial was short and quick, but it was so strange. It was strange to me because of the participation or lack thereof of the children's mother. Right? Now, she wasn't on trial. They didn't found this man guilty. But, well, maybe I shouldn't say this, but it's so suspicious to me of how everything happened. Now, the state was alleging that the dad did this because he had followed the mom to a party. It's like they was trying to give like this motive of him being jealous and angry, and therefore, you know how these guys will go and hurt the children because they mad at the mama. Unfortunately, it felt like that's what the state was implying. That's what the state was saying, because he had left the kids at the house. He had followed the mom, the wife, up to Ruth Christie's where she was having a family birthday party with her family. not for her, but for somebody else, and that he cut them off on a highway. He stopped them in traffic. He went up to the car. All this before unaliving the children. They get back to the house, and he goes and shoot both kids in the head. Now, this is the state what they was putting forth. Hey, T. Lounge. You know, the defense was saying that this was an accident. Oh, I mean, nobody in the house called 911. The neighbor called 911. Nobody in that household, not the daddy, not the mama, nobody called 911. On the 911 call, when we listened to it, of course, the mother was frantic, but it's almost like nobody was given, like it was so hard to get actual information from them on that 911 call. Whereas the mom was real frantic and just real anxious, which is understandable. She couldn't pull herself together to even give her apartment number, but she literally cussed out the 911 operator. Strange to me. Strange to me that when we watched the body cam footage and when the cops arrived, the first responders arrived to the house, the mom was outside. She was outside, no blood on her clothes. The little girl was upstairs still breathing. We found out from the EMT that the daughter was still breathing up there. But when they went to the house, the mama outside, no blood on her anywhere. The dad is sitting on the couch holding the 8-year-old son because he's still alive. The EMT asking, is anybody else in the house? Nobody referred or even spoke on the daughter. From the 911 call, it was all about my son, my son, my son. That was on the call. No mention of the daughter. When the first EMT got there, they said, was anybody else in the house? The dad didn't say, no, there's no shooter in the house. I'm the shooter, but my daughter's upstairs. Nobody said nothing. The mama didn't say when they saw her outside, when the ambulance drove up or whatever, she didn't say, my son and my daughter upstairs. She didn't say nothing. You know, it was all about the son. And then it's like, what about the daughter? Right. At first I said, well, maybe they didn't say nothing because the daughter, they just assumed that she was deceased already. Let's help the surviving son. But come to find out, the daughter was still breathing. We heard that on the body cam footage when the EMT went up there. Star Bell says she was in shock. I understand, and I'm not, hey, she lost her child. She had a son who's going to have injuries forever or deal with the ramifications of this forever. But I guess I say I'm still very suspicious. I am suspicious. Like, to me, and you never know what you're going to do in them situations. I never know. I never want to be in that situation. But, however, you got 2 kids up in there shot. 911 coming. The daddy holding the son. You mean to tell me you're not going to go check on your daughter? You're not going to be in the house over your kids? She was like literally just in the parking lot, running around in circles. You're not going to go check the pulse of your kids? You're not going to go hold your child? Or try to comfort your child even if they deceased? That kind of stuff don't just happen on TV. That's real life. And for her to come out that house, if you saw the film, the body cam footage, she was still in her heels. She was still immaculate from her birthday party she went to. The T-Line say, ain't that much shock in the world to where you don't mention the daughter. Right. Right. Now, he didn't got found guilty, and I think he did shoot them kids in the head. And I think it was to get back at her. My question is, why didn't the mama testify? Why didn't she get on the stand and speak for her child? You know, why didn't she let the son ever get questioned? You got to remember, in case you don't know about this case, that she kept the investigators from really interviewing the son for almost a year. And by the time they interviewed him, he said he couldn't remember nothing. I'm just wondering why such a concerted effort to seemingly protect this guy. I never understood not making the 911 call herself. Nobody called 911 from that house. The neighbor called. And when the 911 responded, they didn't even have an apartment number. You know, I should have played that 911 call again. I think the husband was abusing and controlling, so once she heard gunshots, she ran out of the house. You think so? I think the husband was abusing and controlling, so once she heard gunshots, she ran out of the house. Okay, I get that, but if you say that, I guess I am, I feel kind of bad, like a little bit. I feel a little bit bad and guilty because here I am. And I guess because I am a mother, I am a female, obviously I expect more from the mother. I think that's what it is. Because we know he shot him. But I'm just not understanding the mom's actions. I would not be in that much shock as to where I would not be in that much shock as to where I could not give the 911 dispatcher pertinent information to get to my residence to help my children. Exactly. Why not mention a daughter? That's confusing me. Exactly. Even when she was outside and the cop drove up and he say, who in the house? And all she was saying was, save my son on 911, only about the son. You know, they didn't even know another child was in that house shot. I want to hear something that lets me know she loved those kids. I think being on the stand and testifying, maybe I just want her to get on the stand and testify so she can explain to herself, just so I can know what's really going on in the house. Maybe I'm just that nosy. That's why I want her to get on the stand so bad. But beyond me being reasonably nosy, another reason she should have took the stand is to speak up for her child. As the voice to speak for her daughter that's unalive. As the voice to speak for her son that's been injured. You know, so justice was served. He was found guilty of all the charges. He will be in prison for life. He could have very well had the death sentence, but the state didn't put that on the table for him. You know, but I'm still going to hold it in the back of my mind that something's very strange about this case. I think there's a lot more to the story that did not come out. I think it's some big time secret keeping going on. They would not have had to look for my daughter because I would have had her in my arms. Right. Because I just feel like even if he holding the son, even if the baby was up there already deceased, right? I can't imagine it not touching the baby, cradling the baby, trying to move the baby, trying to see if she's still breathing, trying to give her CPR. She had not a speck of blood on her. Was he ever offered a plea deal? I don't know nothing about no plea deal, B.A. Sage. You know, this trial kind of popped up on me and I wasn't prepared. Everything she did screamed she didn't give a F. That's some cold-blooded stuff there. Real cold-blooded. Okay, so he got found guilty on everything. I will be coming back. I want to keep the lives instead of like going on like an hour or 2 hour and then changing topics because I'm doing these vertical lives. I'm going to keep coming back. Okay, so I'm going to end this live. Give me like 20 minutes. We're going to come back. We're going to look at another sentencing that just happened. This sentencing happened yesterday. It's a sentencing just happened this morning. I want to come back with that one. Leo says, is this Leo the Leo? Is this our Leo or a different Leo? The reality is you never know how you will react until you experience it. I pray I never have to. Okay, this our Leo. Right, you never know. You never know. You never know. And that's why I feel bad. And that's why I say, let me stop like attacking the mother, but I just can't help it, right? Reason no blood on mama because she was not in the children's room. But why wouldn't she? Leo, I thought about you yesterday. I was like, I didn't see nothing from Leo. You threw me off with that avatar. And then when I read that comment, I said, okay, it's Leo. Reason no blood is on mom because she was not in the children's room. But that's even weirder though, Star Bell. Why wouldn't she go up in there to touch her daughter, to see her daughter go do? You mean to tell me you're going to just hear shots in your children's room? I haven't been getting no notifications. I haven't got any notifications. Because, I'll come through, share, make a comment, watch it, Okay, so I'm going to go see what's going on. I'm going to reset the bell. So that is this live. We will be back on Trial Watch with Demetri in about 20, no more than 30 minutes. I'm going to be coming back to back doing different lives on this vertical today, okay? Hit the like. Thank y'all so much for supporting. Thank you for the super chat, Leo. Thank y'all for hitting the like and coming. Y'all keep coming back. Bye, y'all. I missed something important. Oh, let me go look. Oh, I think I know what it is. Let me go look right now.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time.